everyone. Welcome to Rovember Live and happy Election Day. I'm so excited that you are here with us. I'm Ashanti Golar, the president of Emerge, and I want to welcome you on behalf of our entire Emerge team. Throughout the day, we will be going live with these conversations. This is our first one, but we have 3 more today at noon Eastern, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. Eastern. So mark your calendar. You do not want to miss these because we are joined by some fabulous Emerge alums and partners. For me this morning, I'm excited because I am joined by Thea Rahman, Vote Pro Choice's Director of Political and External Engagement, and Emerge alum, Arizona State Representative Jennifer Longden. It's no secret to anyone who's watching this live that after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June, women got mad. But we just didn't get mad, we took action. And we have seen Gen Z women registering to vote in record numbers, and they're registering as Democrats. On today's live, we will discuss how these voters can impact the midterm election results, as well as what Emerge alums are doing to protect reproductive rights and access to abortion care. I'm going to start our conversation talking to Thea. Thea, again, is with Vote Pro Choice. Thea, please tell us more about the work of Vote Pro Choice this election, from your candidate endorsements to your personalized voter guides and your voter turnout operation. So welcome.
Thank you, Ashanti, and thank you for having me and having Vote Pro Choice here. Like you mentioned, the Dobbs decision was so devastating coming down in June and was our work was already impactful, but I think we are now seeing the results of that. We have had over 1 million voters use our guide so far, and that report was as of yesterday. And so that's super, super exciting. We have seen an uptick in younger voters using our voter guide. We specifically focus on endorsing pro-choice candidates down ballot. That's from governor to your local school board member. We have an extensive endorsement process. We have endorsement meeting every week because our endorsement process is ongoing throughout the year. We have a voter guide during the primary, and we also create a general voter guide for general voting. Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you for that great overview of Vote Pro Choice. And I loved how you spoke about the down ballot races or the state and local races, because it's not just the presidency, it's not just Congress. The majority of elected offices are at the state and local level, and there's elected leaders there who have a huge impact on our reproductive rights. And I know Vote Pro Choice has done an amazing job too, showing people how so many of these local elected offices impact with abortion rights. So can you tell us a little bit more about why you all felt it was so important to connect those dots on the full ecosystem of people who unfortunately get to have a say over our body?
Right. I think that we've been, like I said, we had prior to the Dobbs decision, we were already focused on down ballot, but now it's even more important because it's no longer a federal right. It's now in the hands of the states. And so it's super important. Like your local judge can help create laws that can allow for people to get abortions in their cities or their counties. And so that is why down ballot is so important, because there are other people in your state and in your city and in your county that can create laws to create access to abortion care for you. It's not based on just the Supreme Court or the president. There are other people who can help get you the access, get us the access that we need as people who have, reproductive rights. And so we connected those dots, and also it was a gap. It's a gap really in the ecosystem that you're talking about. It's something that people really don't focus on, which is why our voter guide has grown and grown every year. We have over 150 organizations in there, and we've endorsed over 400 candidates this year, and that's the most that we've done since the start of Vote for Choice. And so I think that it was a gap, to answer your original question, and we kind of filled that gap. And I think people are starting to pick up why it's so important, especially since June. It's always been important, but I think people are just more now aware. When you take something away from people, then they are more aware of the access that they had, and now they don't have it anymore.
Yeah. And I talked a little bit earlier about how we're seeing young women really show up to register to vote, to become politically engaged. And that always means the world to me because I'm someone who got involved in politics at a very young age in high school. Can you tell us just the response that you're seeing from younger women about the work of Vote Pro Choice and how very intent they are on making sure that their bodies are protected?
Yeah, so we have seen an increase in Gen Z and millennials using our voter guide, which is really exciting because in previous years, our base has kind of been from 50s and up. And so I think that the younger generation has seen women fight back and do those things, since the
Mhm.
age of Trump, right? Like that's kind of when the Women's March started, and the women's movement really blew up since the 60s. And so I feel like they watched that, whether they were in high school or in college during that time, they watched that. And so their response, I think, to the Dobbs decision has added some fire to the movement, especially because since the election of President Joe Biden, people kind of got a little relaxed and probably didn't think that it was going to pass, even when it got leaked earlier in the year. And even for me, somebody that works in the movement, it was shocking for me. It was shocking for everybody, regardless if you're in the movement or not. So I think the increase in younger women recognizing this issue, and we also have allies that aren't women, our allies who
Mhm,
are able
mhm.
to get reproductive access. They are noticing the issue, and it's been a huge topic on social media. And so I think we are just now seeing the response to that, and I'm hoping that we also see it in some of the results later this week.
Yes. So, last question. We love Vote Pro Choice. It was founded by an Emerge alum, Heidi Seek. What are you going to be doing tonight on election night to celebrate all the fabulous women that Vote Pro Choice endorse that we know are going to win?
Well, I think everyone on staff is probably like holding our breath to kind of see what's going to happen. I know in some of our priority states like Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, we may not see results till later this week. So right now, we're celebrating now early. Like I said, we've endorsed we have so many great candidates. We've built so many great partnerships, including with Emerge. And so we're celebrating the successes of this year and how far we've come. And in election world, it's like the results of election day is like it's this week, but then there's always more to do. Like it's a marathon, not a sprint. And so it's like we're celebrating now because we've gotten this far, but there's still more work to do. We
Mhm.
have our priority states ready for next year. So we're really just celebrating now and getting ready for what's to come in 2023.
Love it. The work does not stop.
No.
Thea, thank you so much for joining us. And now I'm going to bring up Arizona State Representative Jennifer Longden. I'm a huge fan of hers. She's just fabulous. You're all about to see why. She represents Arizona's 5th district in the Arizona legislature. So, Representative Longden, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, first, I would love for you just to tell everyone the story of you doing the Emerge program, the seat that you're in, because I feel it just really embodies the work that we do at Emerge and the fabulous Emerge alums that we have.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ashante. So I am an Emerge graduate, Emerge Arizona, 10 years ago. And the program was introduced to me, and I was encouraged to do the Emerge program by one of the women that helped found it in California, who lived here in Arizona at the time. She says, "You are an Emerge woman, and you will be fabulous, and we need you in this program." And I wasn't so sure. I'm a full-time wheelchair user. I didn't suspect that folks would listen to me. And so I did the program. My executive director at the time was a state representative named Katie Hobbs. Now, Katie Hobbs is our gubernatorial candidate tonight. After I did emerge, Katie was also my state representative and then my state senator. And when Katie decided to run statewide for Secretary of State, her seat became open. And I now serve as state representative in a seat that was once held by, hopefully tonight, Governor Katie Hobbs. There's been a strong legacy of great women leaders in this seat before I took it on. And I never forget that as I go through this. So I, for one, am so grateful for my Emerge network. There are a number of Emerge women serving in the state legislature. And whenever I'm stumped, whenever I just need an extra boost, there's always an Emerge woman on the other end of the phone or at my front door with a bottle of wine to make sure that we're ready to get through whatever it is that's coming.
Yes, like I love that so much. Thank you for telling that story. And Representative, we know that Arizona has been a political hotbed for several election cycles, but really since 2020 with the presidential, there was a lot of attention, especially around voter fraud, election deniers. And we've also been hearing a lot about Arizona after the fall of Roe because of policies that are in the state. Can you tell us a little bit more about where you all are at now and what you hope to see on election night that will really help codify abortion rights in the state? Because I don't think people realize how close Democrats are in Arizona to be able to actually have the majority.
Yeah, we're within one vote of disrupting the Republican majority in the House and the Senate. One vote in each chamber would put us in a power sharing agreement. 2 votes would give us the gavel in either or both chambers. And we are that close. We've been working hard on this for a number of years. And it is again, and again, here's Katie Hobbs. Back in more than 10 years ago, we were in a super minority in the state legislature. There were 20 Democrats in the House out of 60 seats. There were 9 in the Senate out of 30. And Katie Hobbs was one of the founders of the Arizona Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee. And through that work, we have steadily picked up seats, steadily made a difference. And now we sit here within striking distance of taking the gavel, which means that we'll be able to pass our legislative agenda, one that represents our democratic values, that protects the rights of individuals seeking abortion, that protects the rights of our voters, that protects the rights of our immigrants, that does work on gun safety. We can get there with this vote today. And Governor Hobbs and taking Attorney General Chris Mays, and then our Secretary of State, Adrian Fontes, would give us what we need to protect democracy here in Arizona. So we've worked really hard. I'm really excited for what tonight brings.
Yes. Have you seen the voters in the state really focus on not only abortion rights, but I love what you said, like what Democrats can do for Arizona when they have power, because everyone's talking about the economy, which we're all affected by the economy, but abortion is an economic issue. And it drives me crazy when people act like it's not. So what are you hearing from the voters about what they want and why they're showing up for a Jennifer Longden, for a Katie Hobbs in Arizona?
So the fall of Roe, the Dobbs decision, certainly infuriated voters here in Arizona. And we saw a huge uptick in the registration of women and in younger voters. And when we go to the doors, we hear about the economy. And as Democrats, we are sensitive to the economy. We know that, the rise of the cost of a gallon of milk can have a huge effect on a family. But the issue that we're hearing about is abortion. Folks want to ensure that we have safe, equitable access to abortion here in the state of Arizona. I remind voters all the time, the folks who are a little shy, I'm like, you know what's a whole lot easier than creating an underground abortion network in 6 months? Voting today.
Mm-hmm.
Entire state, the entire ability for us to have access to abortion here in Arizona runs through the state legislature. And we have great candidates out there that are going to get this done. We just need to make sure our voters turn out. Our candidates have been working hard.
And I want to tie in a little bit about what Thea talked about, where we
Mhm.
have so many offices that do focus on abortion rights, reproductive justice, and women's health care. Can you just give us an overview of some of the ways that intersects with elected officials who are in state legislatures and the things that you're able to do for the community? Because we know that when a great representative like you introduces a bill, co-sponsors a bill, like it's going to have great impact on your district that you represent. But we know, especially with Emerge Women, they're thinking about everybody, how it's going to affect everybody in the state. So what are some of the additional things that we should look to our state legislators for when it comes to women's health care?
Well, certainly, and actually, I'm going to twist that question just a little bit, if you don't mind, Ashante.
No, please.
Certainly, the state legislature is going to pass the law. That's what Dobbs did. Dobbs kicked the decisions about abortion back to the individual states, to the state legislatures. And that's the issue we're going to address. But let's look even further down ballot from that. As Thea said, we elect judges here in Arizona. Those judges may be ruling on your ability to get an abortion or how you are criminally prosecuted. Our prosecutors, our attorney general and county attorneys can have that impact as well. Mayors can decide with their city councils, whether we create abortion safe havens in certain cities. And then let's talk about school board races. School board races are often seen as the entry point into elected office. But especially in our middle school and high schools, when we see, oh my goodness, now even Siri is chiming in on what I'm saying in the background.
Yeah, Siri knows what's up.
Oh,
She's the questions.
Indeed. But think about, middle school and high school and the presence of pregnant people in the classroom and their choice to seek abortion and to not be able to, how does that fall within what a school board decides? We are, as you said, the issues around childbearing and abortion, starting a family or not starting a family, have a huge economic impact on a family. Thea said it better than I ever will. And we need to make sure that the individual who is going to be responsible for that pregnancy, the person carrying this pregnancy, has the ability to make the best decision for themselves and their future. And that doesn't belong in the hands of the state legislature. What I find most interesting is my Republican colleagues last year decided that our teachers weren't capable of deciding which books you should be able to read, right? And now they want to decide this about your life as well. So, we need to make sure that we win tonight, because not only does democracy is democracy at stake, but this fundamental health care right, the right to abortion, is at stake here in Arizona today.
Thank you, Representative. That is the best way to close out this discussion on Rovember. Everyone, if you early voted, thank you so much. We appreciate it. But if you have not voted, please vote today. 866-OUR-VOTE is the voter protection hotline if you have any issues at the polls. Thea, thank you. Representative Longden, thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined us today for this conversation. We will be going live 3 more times today. The next conversation will be at noon with our Emerge Development Director and President of the California Young Democrats, Diane Lee, where she will host our Young Leaders Emerge live conversation to talk more about the power of Gen Z and millennial women on the ballot and at the polls today. At 2 p.m., our Emerge Political Director, Brianna Carmen, will host Winning Policies Win Elections that will focus on the winning policies that candidates are running on, and that could swing some of the elections we see tonight. And then I'll be back with you all at 4 p.m. to close us out for the day with my friend Fatima Goss-Graves at the National Women's Law Center and Emerge alum, Virginia State Representative and Emerge Virginia Executive Director Danica Rome. And we're going to talk about our civil rights and what's at stake tonight in our Your Rights Are on the Ballot Live. You don't want to miss any of these conversations, so please put them on your calendar, follow us on social media, and we hope we see you back later today. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.